Good morning and welcome to Daylight with Dean number 42. We are wrapping up week number, that would be 6, right? Woohoo! It is May 23rd, 2020. It's a holiday weekend, and I wonder if you have anything unique or exciting planned this weekend. I have a sense that my weekend's going to start with some of those projects that my wife wants me to do that I haven't gotten around to. We will see. We will see. I just realized, being Memorial Day weekend, that Memorial Day, ever since I was a little kid, Memorial Day has been the one holiday that I find great joy in. Now hear me out. You may not think it's that big of a deal, but before I make my case, gotta sip my coffee. There we go. But here's a few reasons why I think Memorial Day is the best holiday. And primarily, this is my only reason. It's the surprise holiday. Like, you're just kind of going along spring, and you got Easter and you got all that, and you come along and it's the end of May, and it's like, wait, Memorial Day. It just, you wake up that Monday morning and it's just, it's a great day. I'm off work, but then again, I'm off work every Monday. Eat your hearts out, those of you who don't like Mondays. I'm off work, and there's no pressure. Have you ever felt the holiday pressure, like July 4th? Oh man, so much pressure. Got to be at the right place to watch the best fireworks, to make it, all this. Did you ever go to Mount Washington in Pittsburgh for the July 4th fireworks, or down in Pittsburgh for a lot of pressure? New Year's Eve, man, talk about pressure on a holiday. But Memorial Day, there's just no pressure. It's a walk in the park. It's truly a holiday because it's just there, and you get to enjoy and savor any of it. So I'm not going to build a campaign online to try to make Memorial Day voted the best holiday of the year. But for me, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat. I want to thank all of you guys who have commented, and all of the things that you share with me. That just helps me so much. It encourages me that this is helpful to you, and just great to hear from each and every one of you. One of the new ways that I'm learning to connect during this time is through your comments and the conversations that mean so much to me that we're having that way. I'm staring at a bunch of bananas. Yes, we went banana shopping yesterday. It was a Friday night, and it was Leslie and my big date night. And we spent, it was a pretty expensive date night. We went to Aldi's, and it was truly a date. I pushed the buggy, we picked the thing up, we had a nice time. It's forced togetherness, and it's really great. So went to Aldi's, and then went to Giant Eagle, our local supermarket, to get all that you can't get at Aldi's. And at Aldi's, I said, Leslie, do you want bananas? And she said, yes. This is the only banana we had before we went shopping, and it's just about ripe enough for banana bread. So I decided to go green because, as we've shared in previous episodes, my kids love green bananas. So I picked up a bunch of 5 of these. However, I was told, now I don't know if this is true, I was told if you buy bananas and separate them when you get them home, that they all age individually. They don't age together at the same rate as a group. So here's my new 5 bananas. I don't know if the banana hack will work, but if they survive Memorial Day weekend, maybe Tuesday morning we'll have a little look at them. One of the things that was helpful about your feedback was just the input and thoughts you had. Many of you said, I really like it when you kind of give us a preview of what you're preaching on and process that through with us a little bit beforehand, kind of like an appetizer, or somebody said a prelude. If you want to use churchy music, there you go. Churchy language, there you go. And that was a lot of fun for me when we were preaching on Psalms and we were talking about the joy Psalms. It was easy for me to talk about joy all week long. And it is my hope that each of us are reminded that joy is a gift from God that we get to savor and live with every day. And then last week, what did I talk about last week? It was right there. Psalms of joy. That was Mother's Day weekend. And then the car show Sunday was prayer. Thank you. I was praying in my mind. God help me remember. And I thoroughly enjoyed the week talking about prayer and the ways that we can pray that work for us, and connecting with God daily and regularly and continually, and inviting God to do our day with us and be mindful of Him and His presence and His love and His faithfulness throughout our day. So that was fun. Did you notice this week I wasn't previewing the theme for this Sunday? Well, here's why. This Sunday, we're covering Psalms called the Psalms of Death. We're also covering the Psalms of Life as well. So we're looking at death and life, or life and death, however you like to say it. And I don't know about you, but death is one of those topics that I'm not really comfortable talking about. Maybe you have a few. Maybe there are things in relationships that you need to talk through that you're putting off. And it's just something you're not comfortable talking about, something in that relationship. Or perhaps you're a parent and you want to talk with your children about sex, and man, that one's an uncomfortable notion. Perhaps talking about money. I don't know what yours is, but I have to be honest with you. I was surprised at my resistance to talk about death here in the mornings. Because the reality is, it's something that we're all going to face one day. And the sooner we come to peace with that, and the sooner that our souls are prepared and ready for that, the easier it will be when that time comes. Now, there's nothing easy about death. I stated that wrong. I apologize. But the more grateful you'll be that you're ready. So I say all that to just invite you today and tomorrow to consider death. The Psalms force us to. They force us to look at the reality of death. And in my sermon tomorrow on May 24th at the River New Ken Facebook page and the River New Ken YouTube channel at 8 and 9:30, and then anytime after that, I'm gonna do a message on death and life, and it's gonna be really helpful. I have guest appearance, a fascinating guest appearance, someone talking about that subject passionately that will really be a surprise to you and a blessing to you. And I invite you to tune in tomorrow morning. If you've seen any of my sermons, you'll know that I'm relishing this opportunity to preach outside, not standing behind a pulpit, and I'm relishing this opportunity to preach from every angle on my property of our house. And tomorrow, you will see 2 new angles, 2 new perspectives of my house that I've never filmed from in the 6 weeks that we've been doing these services, 7 weeks we've been doing these services online. I've lost track. And so I want to invite you to have the courage to look at death, face our own mortality and what that means. Ask ourselves, are we ready? And if not, the obvious question is what needs to happen for me to be ready? One thing for me, and this is silly, my wife is overwhelmed by my stuff and my collection of things. If you walk in the garage, you'll see a lot of stuff, and it stresses her out. And when I push on her about why it bothers her so much, she's like, because you're going to die, and I'm going to be stuck with all this stuff, and I'm not going to know what to do with it. And so, literally, one of my goals is to get that taken care of. It'd be easy, it'd be nice if we had that date, like if we knew when that date was going to come, and then we could build up to it. But that's the funny thing about that. If we're terminally ill, we can see it approaching. But if death comes suddenly, like it has for some of my closest relatives, then you have to live ready. You have to live ready. So, as uncomfortable as the death talk is, as the mortality mentioning is, I want to invite you to give a little thought to it. Are you ready? If not, what needs to happen in your life for you to feel ready? Might I suggest that if you're kind of distant from the Lord, and that's something that came to mind, well, I need to kind of get that figured out, it's a great place to start. If you find yourself running from Him, angry at Him, or not even sure He exists, but definitely not engaging with Him, maybe the best thing that you could do, the first thing you could do is just stop running and turn toward Him. God's Word tells us that when we turn toward Him, that He moves toward us and closes that gap very quickly. So maybe there's something in your gap between you and the Lord that needs some attention. I invite you to look at that. And I hope that today, if you process through that on some level, that you will find a sense of comfort and peace, even in the midst of that thing that we don't like to talk about. Let me pray for you. Dear Lord, I thank you so much for each person watching here today. I thank you for their courage to hear some words about the reality that one day each of us will pass from this life to the next. And now, Lord, I pray that you would be near each other, of each person here today. That you would be near us as we just take a little glimpse about our own mortality, about death, and whether or not we're ready. Not wanting to get there at all, but but ready for when that time comes. And Lord, I just pray that you would give each of us the courage to look at what's keeping us from being ready. And then may we have the courage to figure out, do we want to do anything about that or not, or just let it be. Father, I pray that each person here today would find comfort in your presence, reassuring today in the midst of not only the time that we live in, but the event that one day will come for each of us. I pray, Lord, that you would bless each person now. In Jesus' name, amen. And on that note, I can't wait till I get to see you tomorrow. And look forward to visiting with you on Sunday, May 24th. God bless you, everybody.